class 7th. Today we are going to start a session with a new topic, that is motion and time. So I am Sachin Madan from DPS Saharanpur. So before starting this chapter, we have a quick review about the contents of this chapter. So these are the contents of the chapter. First, we are going to study about what is motion and its definition. Then we have measurements. What are measurements and how we can use these measurements in our daily life. Then third topic is standard units and SI unit. Then fourth one is time, its definition and SI unit we will read. Fifth one is speed. Again, we will know about its definition, SI unit, and as well as its formula. Now there is a new topic for you, that is uniform and non-uniform motion, because you hadn't read about this topic in the previous classes, so it is new for you, uniform and non-uniform motion. And second last is distance time graphs and for uniform and non-uniform motion. This is also new for you. And last but not least is numerical based on speed and conversion of units, like meter per second to kilometer per hour or kilometer per hour to meter per second. So these are all about the contents of this chapter. So let us start a chapter with the first heading, that is motion and its definition. Yes, before starting this chapter, this heading, I want to ask a question about motion. What do you know about motion? Yeah, some of you will say that, sir, motion is like a movement. Yes, it is a movement. But how will you define it? How will you define the motion? See, in physics, motion is defined as the change in position of an object with respect to its surroundings in a given interval of time. This is the definition of motion. Now I will try to describe you what does it mean. See, motion is defined as a change in position with respect to its surroundings. It means, suppose this is a surrounding, this is your surrounding, a house which is at rest. You know that houses, trees and all, they remain at rest. This is a car which can move from one position to another position. So if I change the position of this object, if I change the position of car from this to this side, from right to left side, it means it changes its position with respect to surroundings. Surroundings क्या है? This is the surroundings. This is a house, is a surrounding. Let's see how it happens. Yes, see, this car moves from this position to this position. It means it changes its position from one point to the other point with respect to its surrounding, that is this house. So it means motion is defined as a change in position. यहाँ पर change in position हुआ of an object is car with respect to its surrounding. Surrounding is your house or any other thing which is fixed, which is at rest. Okay, so this is how you will define motion. Motion is the change in position of an object with respect to its surroundings in a given interval of time. This means किसी particular time में, at a particular time, this object will move from this point to that point. That is called motion, because this means that this car is in motion from this point to this point with respect to the surroundings and in a given particular time. So understood what is motion is? Yes. Now we have defined motion. Now how will you measure this motion? Means if a car moves from this point to this point, what distance it travels, how will you measure? So for this we are going to study another topic, that is called measurement. Basically, measurement is the comparison. Measurement is the comparison of an unknown quantity with some fixed quantity of the same kind. Now what is unknown quantity and what is fixed quantity right here? So in this definition, unknown quantity is like, suppose this is a clock and this is a scale. Now unknown quantity is the time and the known quantity is clock. It means you are measuring time in this clock and you are measuring length in the scale. So unknown quantity with the scale is length and known quantity is the scale, or fixed quantity is the scale. Understood? So measurement basically is the comparison of an unknown quantity with some fixed quantity of the same kind. Why they are saying same kind? Because we cannot measure length with the clock and we cannot measure time with the scale. It should be with the same kind. Understood? So that is why we compare the time with the clock and length with the scale. That's why it is a comparison of the unknown quantity with some fixed quantity of the same kind. So this is called measurements. Now measurements we have studied. We know that it is a comparison. Now on which scale we are going to measure this? Means we know that we can see the time in this clock, we can see the length from the scale, but on what basis we are going to measure? That basis is called units, and units should be such that it should be same all over the world. If we are going to measure time in seconds and hours in India, okay, that should be uniformly accepted all over the world. Understood? So these units are termed as standard units. Now what are standard units? The units which are uniformly accepted by everyone are called standard units. Yes, uniformly accepted means एक जैसा. Formally accepted by everyone are called standard units. And the common system of measurement that is used all over the world is called SI system. Yes. What we are using right now, like we are using hours and seconds for measuring time, we are using centimeter and meter for measuring length, we are using kilogram and gram for measuring the mass. This is a common system of measurement that is used all over the world, and that is called SI system. So what does SI means? SI stands for System International d'Unités in French language. This SI is the French abbreviation of System International d'Unités. Now what is in what are standard units in the SI system? The one of the standard units in the SI system are MK system. MK system means M for meter. Yes, meter is used for measuring length. Okay, and K is used for kilogram, which is used for measuring mass, and S is used for second, used for measuring time. So in general we can say that it is a MK system that we are using uniformly all over the world. Yes, this system we are using uniformly all over the world. Wherever we go, in any state, in any country, you will use time, you will use second for measuring time, you will use kilogram for measuring mass, you will use meter for measuring length. Okay. In spite of this MK system, we have another type of SI system, that is FPS and CGS also. FPS means foot pound second and CGS means centimeter gram and second. Foot is used for measuring length, pound is used for measuring mass, and second is used for measuring time. In the same way, centimeter is used for measuring length, gram is used for measuring mass, and second is used for measuring time. These are also a standard units which are being using another than MKS, but MKS is mostly used all over the world. Okay.